Hi, and welcome to Lisa's Stamp Studio. My card today is going to have a love theme. It's not just for Valentine's Day. You could use it for anniversaries or for someone to get well. It's a great encouragement card to remind them that you're thinking about them. We're going to be using new products today from the new mini catalog. Here's a quick look at the card we're going to be creating together today. I've got lots of tips to share with you along the way. And if this is your first time visiting my YouTube channel, I would love to have you subscribe. Click the subscribe link down below and make sure you tap that bell icon that's next to it. That will send you notifications when I'm live right here on YouTube, as well as when I share a new video. Let's head over to the stamp table and let's get started on today's project. We're going to start with a piece of Flirty Flamingo cardstock. You're going to find all the cutting dimensions down in the video description below. That's going to lead you over to the pictures as well. I decided to use this Scripty 3D embossing folder. This embossing folder is a lot thicker than your typical embossing folders, and it's going to leave a beautiful, deep impression. I'm going to go ahead and slide this in, just making sure that the script is facing in the correct direction, and I'm going to run this through my embossing machine. That's left us with this beautiful impression, and it's really subtle. That's one thing I love about it. You're going to get the texture without taking away from the focal point of your card. I'm going to be adding adhesive to the back of this layer, and I'm a big fan of my silicone craft sheet to do that. I'm going to be working near the edges, and the one thing about the silicone craft sheet is that adhesive, liquid glue, and hot glue will not stick to it. So if you get real close to the edges, just like I did there, you don't have to worry about it getting on your work surface. I'm going to add this to a piece of real red cardstock, and I chose these colors because they're reminiscent of the designer series paper that we're going to be using for our card. My next step is to use a pearlized doily, and that's going to go in the center of the card. Now, I don't need a whole lot of adhesive on this because I'm going to be anchoring it down with some other pieces. I'm going to add adhesive in areas where I'm confident it won't show. Small dabs of liquid glue will be fine for this too if you're more comfortable with that. But just for the sake of the video, I'm going to go ahead and use adhesive. Again, that silicone craft sheet will ensure that no adhesive will fall on my work surface. And I'm going to adhere that right here in the center of that card layer. I'm going to set this aside and let's show you the beautiful designer series paper. These gorgeous patterns include some specialty foil sheets. This paper is from the From Your Heart Designer Series paper series. Really, really pretty. One thing I absolutely love about this is that the coordinating punches to this suite of products will actually punch out the designs on some of this designer series paper. So you're going to see this was one of them, and that punched out that image using the scallop heart. You'll find this designer series paper and those punches in the upcoming mini catalog that's debuting on January 3rd. Now, if you don't already have a demonstrator and you're interested in receiving a complimentary copy of the new mini catalog as well as the annual catalog, head over to lisasstampstudio.com. I'll be using that designer series paper to punch out one of the hearts, making sure that I've got a circumference of a little bit of white around it. Again, this is that beautiful foil embellished paper. I'll go ahead and set that aside, and I'm going to work now with red glimmer paper. I wanted to bring a little pizzazz to that card, and I'm going to be using that scalloped heart punch. You can see here where I had punched my original one. The great thing about using your punch upside down is it's going to allow you to maximize your paper, especially these specialty papers. I've got the glittered heart. I'll go ahead and flip that over, and we're going to add adhesive to the back side. This is going to get it here just off center on my doily. The designer series paper heart, I'm going to flip over. I'll be using dimensionals to raise this layer up. I'll add those sufficiently to the back side. I'm always cognizant of that being balanced since I'm going to mail my card. My Take Your Pick tool has a wonderful paper piercing tool attachment to it that will help me remove those paper backings. And now I can add this heart just off center from this one. I have a small piece of Whisper White cardstock here, and this is where I'm going to stamp my greeting. I'm going to be using the Real Red ink pad, which coordinates beautifully with that designer series paper. And I've mounted the words that read, "Just a little reminder that you are loved." You'll find that greeting from the A Wish for Everything stamp set. And you can see that it's very abundant. The one thing I love about this stamp set is that you can build these phrases to make custom greetings. And there are words for both the inside and the outside of your cards. I'll go ahead and ink that up, and I'm going to stamp that here. I want to create a banner tip on the right side of this greeting, and the easiest way is using one of my very favorite punches. In addition to this wonderful shape, this tailored tag punch creates the perfect banner tip. I'm going to use it upside down, and I'm going to navigate my cardstock so that that top point is going to be down the center of the cardstock here. And then once I'm happy with the placement, I'll just squeeze. and that'll give us a great banner tip. I want to add a little bit of texture and curvature to this, so I'm going to be using my bone folder. I'm going to flip this over, and on the very end here where the banner tip is, I'm going to slightly curl the cardstock up. And then here in the center, I'm going to curl it down and then up on the flat end here. And that's going to give us a little bit of texture here to that banner that we can add to our card. I'm going to go ahead and slip this underneath here, and I'm going to use a glue dot. I found that's the easiest way to adhere it. So on the flat end here, I'm going to add a glue dot to the back side, and then I'll tuck this down where I want it on the card. Now you can see that this is lifted here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of what I call card surgery, and I'm going to add a small glue dot down here to hold that in place. Using my paper piercing tool attachment again, I've got a glue dot here, which I'll pick up. And then I'm going to tack that underneath this flat area here by the banner. That's going to leave this lifted while still providing a little bit of curvature here to the greeting. My next step is to add some ribbon. I want to add it around this layer before I put it on the card base. So I've got about 17 inches of this beautiful white polka dot tulle, which I thought worked really, really well with that designer series paper. I'm going to go ahead and shimmy this over to the left side because my intention is to create a single loop bow. And I'm going to teach you how to do that if you've never created one before. I'm going to tie this in a single tie right here so that my single knot is going to be in the center of my heart. And then I'm going to come up and around just like I would if I was going to make a bow. But instead of stopping here to make the second loop, I'm going to pull this raw end all the way through, and then I'm going to pull the one loop on the left. That's going to leave us with one loop and then two individual tails. I absolutely love this type of tie, especially for a masculine card or for a card that you don't have a whole lot of room to create an entire bow. And then what I'm going to do is come up now and just trim away the excess here of the ribbon. This now is ready to get adhered to our card base. And this is 4 1/4 by 11 inches. I did score it right before you joined me. And for a nice crisp edge, I'll go ahead and use my bone folder. And while I'm looking at it, I'm going to shimmy up my ribbon to make sure that it's even. And then I'm going to add adhesive along the back. Now here on the ribbon, you can actually add adhesive. So I'm going to work right over that. And again, my silicone craft sheet underneath me. Again, the silicone craft sheet underneath me is going to allow me to keep my work surface clean. I can even add extra adhesive right over that tool a little bit towards the center to make sure it's secured. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mirror this on the card base, looking to have an equal amount of space around all 4 sides. My last step was to add a few red rhinestones. I love how the shimmer in my rhinestones helped bring out that gold glitter paper. So I'm going to come up underneath here and I'm going to grab one of these. They already have glue dots on the back, which makes them really easy to use. I'm going to add one here by the greeting. I'll add another here near the top. And for a little visual interest, we'll go ahead and add another one here, offset that. Absolutely perfect for those that you want to send a reminder that they're loved. This is the card we created together today, the card I created before you joined me. This is also Stampin' Up's largest sale of the year called Celebration. For every $50 in product that you spend, you'll be able to choose a free product from this brochure. There is no limit, and the sale starts January 3rd and will last through March 31st. If you have enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up here on YouTube, which is a like. It certainly helps, and I look forward to having you join me next time. Have a great day.